Incredible afternoon, everyone. How are you guys doing? I know this is a little bit later than it was originally scheduled, but I had an order to finish. I actually have some things that I have to do now. So I was like, let me get this done now. I also had a meeting right after that. So I am here now, and we are on day 2 of designing in Silhouette Studio. Oh, wait a minute. I need my phone because I have to change the privacy setting. All right, so if you guys could just give me a minute, I'm going to go ahead and change the privacy setting and also share this out over on Facebook. So just bear with me one moment as I do that. All righty. Once again, hello, everyone. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365 LLC and Silaholics Anonymous, my global social media platform where I teach you guys how to utilize Silhouette Studio, which is the program that controls the Cameo, Portrait, Curio, and Alpha machines, also the Mint. However, it is a pretty decent beginner graphic designing software. You can use it without having any Silhouette machines, and you can use the free version. I personally use and highly recommend upgrading to either designer or business edition, depending on what your needs are. But you can do a lot of things from the free version of Silhouette Studio. Everything that I did to make the design that you see on the screen was done with just regular basic functions. There's nothing in this particular design that required me to use any of the functions, really, like required me to use any of the functions of designer or business, but there are little keyboard shortcuts and things like that that I personally do like to use. So I can't live without business edition. So for the next 30 days, I am going to show you guys different designs in Silhouette Studio. I have designed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shirts over the past couple of years. I showed you guys a few of them a couple days ago. So like I think April 31st, I went through April 31st or 30th, one of those, I went through and I showed you guys a bunch of shirts I did. So if you missed that video, check the cards at the end. I'll link it at the after this is done, or look in the comment section after it's done. I'll post it there. Or just go to my Silaholics Anonymous or Honestly Speaking SPINKING YouTube, and you will find that video there. So there is a catch to being able to see how I use Silhouette Studio to create designs. You have to be in one of three things. You either have had to sign up for my most recent Essentials to Silhouette Studio course, which was Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. And this is a bonus on top of that. You guys actually can thank them for me wanting to do these 30 days. I just wanted to kind of extend their training. Those who attended live were absolutely amazing. Now that it's complete, you guys can watch it at your own pace and work through it. You still have access to all of the worksheets. You have the full videos on the first playback, and then there's another like broken down playback that's coming very soon. So be on the lookout for that on your online portal for the Academy. But I decided to do this and really just extend their training so they can really see how to utilize these different tools together to create designs. So either you go to our website, the link is in the description, the direct link, and sign up for Essentials to Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days, and then you will get access to these extended videos. Or if you don't want to pay the $83.65 for Essentials, you can join my membership over on my YouTube channel, Silaholics Anonymous. That is $14.99 per month. And last but not least, if you are already enrolled in my academy, you will also have access to this because I am streaming it to our private Facebook group. And as well, like for the 30 days, it's streaming to the private Facebook group. Right now, for today, yesterday's live, today and tomorrow, they will be on the public platforms. Again, this is just putting awareness out there that I'm doing this month. Come Monday, you guys will not have access to these unless you have enrolled in the 30 days. And you have lifetime access to watch them. So if you happen to be watching this particular video, today is April 2nd. If you happen to be watching this in November, you can still go and purchase the 30-day course and be able to have access to all of the videos that I'm going to do this month. All right. So again, shop.hsinc365.com. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into this, and I'm going to show you how I put this design together. Fairly simple as far as like tools and things like that. But it was a lot of like prep work to kind of get it to this point. Alrighty, let's see. We are going to, excuse me, head on over to Silhouette Studio. Okay. I'm going to pan around my screen here so you can see there were a couple different variations of this. Once you have the base and the foundation, you can do things like make different parts different colors because this is a vector file. That means that I can ungroup it or click on parts and change the colors of them. So it is a vector file. I saw, so I've already, you're going to see this particular chief head come up quite a bit because my son played for this team. I also made other items for different parents and different teams and stuff at this particular park. So you're going to see quite a few designs with this head, this chief head. So I'm going to put color on this one. Well, a color that you can see. All right, so it looks a little cuckoo crazy, but I had to go through an extensive trace, and then afterwards I found the SVG, and I was so mad because I already traced it and did all the work for it. So when I originally had this idea, I did see this. So this is what made me kind of like want to do without the face, because I had done plenty of shirts with the face. I saw this and I'm like, ooh, I wonder how I can use that as just the headdress. Well, I tried to trace it, didn't come out very well. And I had my image that had the face to it because, like I said, had already been using this particular file, and then I ended up finding the SVG after I ended up purchasing it after I had already done all this work. I want to say I got it from Vectors, is it a Vector Stock, Vecties, or oh god, I can't remember which one I got it from because it's been such a long time. You see, that says 2017. But I had this. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just break this up, shall we? All right, so I'm going to turn my line color on so I can see. And I'm going to release compound path on this. All right, everything fills in with color and I don't see my red lines because these pull to the front. So I'm going to select that and send that to the back. Now I don't need anything within the face, so I drag and select over the whole thing. By holding down shift, I'm going to click on the middle part of the face and the outside, and I'm going to delete. So what I'm deleting is the face part. So I don't need that. Oh, wait, did I duplicate that? I did not. Let me duplicate. My students know we always duplicate. Never mess up your original. Like always keep a good copy of it. All right, so we're going to drag and select, hold down shift, click, and delete that part. Now, I am going to have to do another offset. I'm going to have to do an offset on this, but I need to know like what that offset is going to be. So here's the inside one. I'm going to go offset. So it's 0.125 is here. Now your offset, depending on what design you're doing, you have to decide how thick or thin you want that offset to be. So I'm actually going to come down just a little bit. Let me see, 0.2. So let's just go 0.1. All right, so 0.1 was what I used for this one. So I'm going to hit apply. That's just so that I know what the offset is. I'm actually going to delete that because I don't really need it right now. I'm going to take the outside one and delete that. And right here, I only want the face part. So I want it to contour around this area here. So I'm going to drag and select through here. Now, I never said that these were beginner techniques. What I'm doing is sharing with you guys designs I have made and just showing you what you can build it to. Once you understand the program, you can look at designs or look at things and like know what all you need to do for it. So this is something that will come over time and knowing what to do to get your desired look. All right, so I'm just going to change the color on this so you can see what I selected. Doesn't matter, as long as I had all of these and then this part over here, I'm just going to group it. I want to do an offset. Well, you know what? Before the one, I need to know how far out this comes. So I'm going, well, I could do it from here. So I'm going to just do an offset. And it is going to be probably the same thing, 0.1. That's probably where it was at, maybe 0.075. All right, so I think that might be, all right, I'm going to go 0.05. That's where I'm going to go at with this one. I'm going to hit apply. And then I'm going to fill that in with color so you guys can see that. That's giving me the outline of the feathers. I also need this piece. So I'm going to go back in, offset. I end up doing 0.05 and apply. You know what? I need this one also. So let's just fill this in. All right, I need this one offset 0.05. Okay. So the reason why I need those to be separate so that I can connect them, I'm going to double click and bring, and I'm going to double click and click on the edit point and bring that up because I need that part to connect. So I'm going to take all of the yellow offsets and weld them. Now I'm going to basically like remove the face area. So I'm going to double click here, hold down shift, drag and select all of these edit points because I don't need them. And I'm going to hit delete point. And here I'm going to also delete point and move this behind the yellow. And I'm going to add a few points here because I want to pull this back. So I'm going to add points, and I basically want to make sure that this blue part here is hidden behind the yellow part. So delete. I kind of want this one to no, I'm going to just take this. I'm just going to pull this back all the way. All right. All right, same thing for all of this. I'm going to pull it back. And then now I have just the outline of the feathers and this. So now I'm going to take the yellow piece, hold down shift, select the blue, and weld. And send that to the back. I'm dragging, selecting everything, clicking on the darker blue, and just making all of my pieces black again. And I'm going to group those together. Down here, everywhere else, it's kind of sharp points. Right here, I don't have a sharp point. So I'm just going to double click and bring that up just to create a sharp point. And then also corner and bring this around to make it a sharper point like the rest of it. Okay, so now I have my headdress from the original. So sometimes you're going to have to do a lot of work to one piece to make it work for everything else. All right. Then, since I already have that, this is the collegiate font, and I'm just going to leave this like this. So I just basically end up just pulling this whole thing over top, and it's actually already positioned. When I did this, I wanted it to cover up. I wanted to be able to see most of the U, so I kind of just played around with the position. When I originally did this, I think I moved this around a couple different times, as you can see here. Trying to figure out where I want it. I tried out a couple of different fonts to see which font I like better. I'm normally going through that. So I will make copies and then I will go through and change a bunch of different fonts and kind of get settled on one. All right. Excuse me. Now for the outline part of this, we're going to put an offset on using just the black part. So I'm going to click on the black and I'm going to do an offset. Remember that offset was 0.1. I think I just want to go 0.075. I think I want it to be a little bit tighter. All right. So once we do that, I need to cut it away from the U because what this is no matter what shirt it's on. Well, with this, it works better on black, but because it's on a black shirt, I don't want to use black vinyl. The black fills in. Oh, well, on this isn't the final one. Hold on. Where is the final one? Obviously, none of these are it. Okay, where is the final one? I guess these must have been the drafts because none of these are actually cut out. Why are you guys not cut out? Not sure, but I'm going to show you how you have to do this. So we put our offset on it. This black one, because I want to see that opening afterwards, I need to cut that away from the 7. So we're going to click on, I'm going to click on this black piece, hold down shift, click on the 7U, go over to modify and go subtract all. It's going to look like nothing has changed. However, if I were to move this black, it has cut out of that 7. Of that U. So it's a small gap there. I'm going to undo. I now want to select the outside offset and the black layer. You don't have to go and drag all over it or put your whole box around it. All you have to do is just touch it as long as your preferences are correct. And we went over preferences day 2 of Learn Slow Studio in 30 days. I went over preferences, showed you the best preferences to have like your program set up to. So I'm going to select right here, and then I'm going to go right click and make compound path. What that does is make this like a frame. Okay, so this is now like a frame. And I want to weld this to the 7. Because I cut it out, I'm going to take my transparency down, and you're going to see that it does still overlap, but it's right there at the gap. So there is some overlap there. I'm going to hold down shift, click on the 7U, and weld that. This now becomes one whole piece. So when I cut it from the vinyl, everything was connected, and sorry about that. So now when I cut, like I said, when I cut this from vinyl, that would be one whole piece. And then I can decide how I want the middle section set up. Do I want it to be all one color? Do I want to choose the other colors and make them, make this a multicolor design? But the main part of it was getting the outline around it to be connected to the 7U, so that way it cuts as one and we don't have any gaps in the middle or have to do any unnecessary layering. After that, it's pretty easy. Just basic steps from there. Let's see, this is typed out. So this is three different text boxes here. As far as choosing what size, of course, if we look at where the 7U is, we want that to fit inside of there. So I originally typed out the words first. These are all separate text boxes. And on the right-hand side, I just make it justified center. And then I select all 3, come up here to my transform panel and center them. Well, let's convert to path first and then center. There we go. It goes over a little bit. And now I need to make it where it fits within Like I want the 2017 to be not past the 7. So we're going to shrink it down. And I'm getting it to fit like a little bit inside the 7, a little bit before here. This is how I originally did this, but I was like, man, I want the golden generals to stand out. As you guys are designing, don't feel like, okay, whatever you're putting on screen, it has to be your final one. I will go and I will duplicate it and I will resize it and try it different ways before before I make a decision on which way I like. You're not going to always get it done right on the first try. You may have a couple different variations of your design. So I'm going to click here. Normally I would have duplicated it first so that I don't have to keep changing the size, but only because I know I changed the size, I'm going to go ahead and just increase this. And of course it crossed over here. So we're just going to take this and move it up. And then we're going to move this up so that we have even spacing between here and the 7U. All right, so that was that part. And I'm just going to group that together. And last but not least was the text at the bottom, which is just choosing a font and typing out the golden generals. As far as sizing for this or spacing for it, how I go about my designs, I'm going to line it up to the end and I'm going to shrink this down to the edge of the design. So I'm pulling the S right to the back of this headdress. And then I'm going to pull it down here. I'm not worried about where it is. Why? Because I'm going to select everything that's here, group it together. And then I'm going to put this over here, select them, and I'm going to center them. And then tab it up. If I wanted it to be the same amount of space between all of these, this is really big. So I'm not quite, I won't really be able to use my justified. In other programs, there are ways like when you move it, it will kind of sense the spacing and it will read the spacing between here and kind of give you the same amount of spacing here. Social doesn't do that. So what you can do is just basically make a box, move that box to the bottom, and then bring that down underneath just to make sure that you have the same spacing. So I do try to make sure that I have the same spacing. You can see here, the spacing that was there is pretty much the same spacing that is here, give or take. And then it's the same distance between here. That is, those are good design practices and techniques, is to make sure that your spacing is correct. And, you don't have, your design isn't really heavy on one side than it is the other, making sure that it just has great composition, great spacing. Those are the makings of really, really great designs. And you'll be amazed that your clients will notice, like, they'll be able to tell the attention to detail that you put into your design when you're creating custom designs yourself. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to just make this. I'm going to go to my color palette and sample the color from here. And then, so here's a good little tip here, right? There's a lot of pieces in that headdress, right? A lot of feathers. Well, for me to select all that would be a lot. I'm going to ungroup. Hold down Shift and click on the outline. So I'm going to click on the 7U. That deselects the outline. I'm also going to click on 2017 and the Golden Generals. What I am left with is all of the feathers part. So I'm going to make that gold and no line color. And group all of that together. And I think this part was also gold. Here is where special features in designer and business. So I could easily just come over here and just select the color and it'll fill in. But my natural like thing is always for me to hit I on my keyboard, which brings up my properties dropper, and then I can just sample it. But I could have just come over here and clicked on it. But if I'm working over here, moving my mouse, I mean, it doesn't throw me off, but it's just faster to know the keyword shortcuts. So I just, like I said, hit I and then click, and it will fill it in with that color. But that's it. And then I'm going to put my black behind it. And that is how, you know what? No, I think this design needs to come up. Only because it's a lot of space here. I actually have to pull it in a little bit more here. And this spacing is going to be more so from the 7 and like the back of this. So I might pull it up just a little bit more and it'll be close here. But then between the 7 and this part, it looks more proportional compared to going from the bottom, but it's only a little piece. So sometimes you have to make creative adjustments like that based off of the way the rest of the design is set up. So that this amount of space would have been too much down in here because it would leave me with a lot of negative space. So I brought it up some to where it, even though it's not the same distance, it looks a lot better than when it had a lot of space there. All right, so that concludes this design. As I said, I have tons and tons of designs. Some of them are, fairly simple in setup, so there'll be much quicker videos. But I just want you guys to just continue to see designs, even if it's the same type deal. Type it out, add an offset and subtract, or do this and crop. It might, I'm not going to say there's all these different techniques. You're going to use the same techniques over and over and over again. That is how you become proficient. And you're just doing it with different words and for, different themes and different designs. So as I said, I will be going through 30 days of t-shirt designs, but you have to be enrolled in Essentials to Silhouette Studio. You have to join my YouTube membership for $14.99, or simply be a part of my academy programs, bachelor's, master's, or doctorate. But those are closed right now, so you can't join those. But I just wanted to say it on video in case any of them are watching this video and wondering how do they get access to the playbacks. Just go on over to the exclusive groups, and that's where you will find your playbacks. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so very much for joining me. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity, be incredible, and don't forget to visit shop.hsink365.com for all of your print needs, such as sublimation ink, the Change the Game sublimation paper that allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, 30 seconds, pigment ink that does not smear, does not scratch off, if you're printing to glossy and you're used to using the new Epson Workforce printers. All right, later, guys. Peace.